Yo, what's going on, man? Today is December the 15th, 2023. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. I'm live on Twitter. I'm also live on YouTube as well, man. Do me a favor as you guys join. If you find the content helpful, if you find these shows helpful, man, do me a favor. Just hit the like button for me if you can. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and let's see if we can find some winners on this Friday slate, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Prolific says, what up, Chris? My boy liking the Magic team total over 110.5. Again, everyone shatter that like button for our champ. Appreciate you, Prolific, sending the positive vibes right back at you, my guy. David says, happy Friday, my guy. Always glad to have you do the shows. Appreciate that as well. Says community challenge. Let's get to 100 likes. We did it on Wednesday. Let's do it again. I love that energy, David. Appreciate you for shouting that out, man. Yeah, like I said, if the show helps, definitely consider hitting the like button for me. Takes less than 2 seconds. What's up, Justin? Appreciate you for pulling up. Franklin, zoned in. Navi always in here with the vibes. Appreciate you as well. LA knows the vibes. Fruitful Fridays, one of my favorite fruits fall from the money tree. Mine as well. Let's get it. Smash the like button. Absolutely. LJ, Cash It Fridays. My God, man. Appreciate y'all for coming through, man. Raven Ron, appreciate you for being here. What up, Free Minds, Young Harlow, Robert, man. Everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate you guys as always. Let's get into it. Yesterday, if you watched the show yesterday, I talked about a lot of different ways I was leaning. I only had one official play on the show. That was the Portland Trailblazers minus 3.5. Actually was a loser. Of course, they ended up getting smashed yesterday. This is the part about the show though that you guys, like the members, I went through, and sometimes I do this, like I'll add plays as we get more injury information, look a little bit deeper into certain, some of the spots. I actually gave out 3 winners after the show yesterday. So the members got those 3 winners, but I just needed to do a little bit more deep diving on those spots. So that was a loser yesterday, but that we did cash on the Bulls and the Heat to go over 112.5. That was an easy casher. We also cashed on the Celtics and the Cavs. I gave this one out to you guys. Told you guys I really liked it. Just hadn't played it yet. Under 227. That was another winner. And then Timberwolves. I told you guys I needed McDaniels in there, and I was taking them on the money line. We got McDaniels in, and we got Anthony Edwards in. I took the money line at minus 125. So those 3 were winners, and the Jazz and the Blazers. We were on the Blazers minus 3.5. They laid an egg from the beginning. I really think it's Anthony Simons' fault. I was looking at some defensive numbers, their defensive metrics, just the total night and day when Anthony Simons is on the floor versus when he's not. Can't blame the whole thing on him, but yeah, that's how that went. Let's jump into it for today. I'm gonna try to make it a shorter show. I always say that, but I'm gonna try to be, really, really short today. I don't like the card. I'll let you guys know that off the rip. I don't like the card a lot. Haven't made any plays. Got a lot of ways that I'm looking, but haven't solidified the card tonight at all. Let's jump into it. So first game up, we got Lakers, we got Spurs. This is another nationally televised game. Not 100% sure why they keep putting the Spurs on TV. I understand you want to, sell tickets, but Victor Wembanyama is, not the greatest thing ever. He is good. He's really, really good, but I don't know, man. I don't think that they should keep putting this guy on TV and this team on TV, but that's just my personal opinion. The Lakers, they should get LeBron James back. The injury report, let me just check it real quick just to make sure. It looks like, hold on, why am I starting with this game? This is a 7:30 game. Let's not start with this Laker game. I'm not sure why this is the first banner. Let's go to Pacers and Wizards first. So Pacers this is the 7 o'clock tip game. So Pacers and Wizards. Matter of fact, this should have been way up here. Matter of fact, I'm sorry. Y'all bear with me here. Let's go to, and this is the way I cap the games. Let's go Pistons and 76ers. My apologies, man. Pistons and 76ers. This line open with the 76ers. This will be quick too. This line open with the 76ers laying 15.5 points, 15 points. It quickly went up to 16. Then you see some buyback coming in on the crazy to think, but buyback actually coming in on Detroit, thinking this spread might be a little too big. So it's come down to 15.5. Total was at 235. It's come down to 234.5. And I know that the Pistons have really struggled. They suffered from a franchise record tying 21st loss on Wednesday, and the NBA single season losing skid is 26 games, which was by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Philadelphia 76ers during the 2013-2014 season. So they're really, really close to being able to get there. I don't see a win in sight for this team. I can't trust Detroit. The 76ers do play tomorrow as well. The way I kind of looked in this one, I went through and looked at like not necessarily like in-season stuff, but like I was just trying to find a way to fade Detroit. I think if I'm playing this game, I think the best angle for me would be Detroit team total. I feel like the numbers are a tad bit too high. Even with Bogdanovich back, they haven't been the greatest offensive team. Pistons have been, and when I think about like these spreads, this is kind of similar to like NFL. When you see these big spreads, it's really easy for one of the teams to stay under their team total. And I think Detroit, I don't know how motivated Philly is, and that's what kind of kept me off of playing an official. PJ Washington just got ruled out. Mark Williams also got ruled out. I think team total under is the right play in that game, but we'll get there in a second. So what I looked at, the Pistons, they've been 15-point dogs or more 8 times in franchise history. The 62 to the under in that spot. They under on their team total. And they've went under their team total 5 of those 8 games in 4 straight dating back to last season. So when the Pistons are already, big dogs like this, you're expecting a lot from the opposite team. And sometimes, Philly might not be clicking on all cylinders. Philly also didn't shoot the ball that well last game. So maybe Philly scores even more points. But to me, with Philly having on the front leg of a back-to-back, granted, they're only playing the Charlotte Hornets tomorrow. It does kind of make me, lean towards Detroit to stay under their team total. Maybe a potential bounce back game. I know Maxey burned a lot of people in the last game. He didn't shoot the ball well, but they still scored, as many points as they wanted to in the last game. And won that game comfortably by 20 points. I might think it might have been 20-plus points in that one. We got Blanton just got ruled out for the Boston game. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on this game. Embiid can get whatever it is that he wants. Detroit will be without Bagley and without Dern. So, he could get a triple-double. He could go over his assists. I'm not touching this game, though, but best of luck if you guys are going to play it. What up, Damian? Uncut says Pacers Wizards up to 261.5, highest total since 1991. Do you think the Wizards can keep up with the Pacers' fast pace? I do not, Uncut. I think that they can score. The Pacers are really bad defense, but you need Jordan Poole to be in my estimation. If Jordan Poole's out, I think not that the Wizards are going to be able to stop the Pacers, but I think you see at least a little bit more effort on the defensive end. Jordan Poole is literally a walking cone. He's like Trae Young on the defensive end. Trae Young might actually play with more effort. Ice Fire says like and subscribe. I appreciate the love there. Coop says every Friday should be payday. Let's get the money. Drop a like for Chris. Appreciate you, Coop. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Peter says let's cash today. What's up, Sean? Appreciate you for being here as always. Jay Smith says what up with the Lakers full game? What up with the Lakers full lineup? Game time decision. That's insane. Yeah, they don't care about this game. It's a throwaway game for the Lakers. Do they want to win? Probably so. Absolutely so. But you already smashed this team? Well, not smashed them, but they were smashing them, and then they end up not even covering the -3.5 because they end up winning that game by 3. So I don't think they're super motivated. That was without LeBron. We'll touch on that game in a second, but I won't go. I did a lot of work and information on this card. It's just not anything that I love, like anything that I absolutely love. What's up, Estat? He says, "What's up, Chris? Player props hit yesterday. Not so much for his Miami Heat side. Upstate New York represent." Okay. All right, let's get back into it for today. So yeah, if I'm playing the 76ers and the Pistons game, I think, like I said, I'm looking at Detroit to go under 109.5, but that's just a lean for me. Next game up. Now we'll go to DC, which DC is actually about to be Alexandria because this team should be moving to in-state lines across. It's just really across the street. It's not far from DC to Alexandria. But we got the Wizards. They are now 9-point dogs. This total is 260. It did get, it was 261. It's still 261 on some books, but 261.5 out there. I see 260.5 as the consensus. The Wizards are now 9-point dogs. Can't go near Washington, especially with Jordan Poole being listed as questionable. It's really hard to kind of cap this game. Like I said, what I know about Jordan Poole is that his defensive rating is just as bad as everybody else on the floor. Indiana, a couple different things I looked at in this spot. So Indiana, this is pretty like a sandwich spot for them. It's the 5th game of a 6-game road trip and the first leg of a back-to-back. They actually play Minnesota tomorrow. I think that they smoked the Wizards here, and I think they probably get smoked by Minnesota tomorrow. If I'm playing a player, well, I'll get back to the player props. If I'm playing this game, I'm looking at the Pacers team total to go over. Probably first quarter, first half. The defensive rating is not good enough, but I would need to know if Poole was going to be in there. Either way, I think they score, and I think that's the easiest way for me to play this game, the way I feel most comfortable with. So Pacers 2-0 to the over on their team total in their full game total when they're a road favorite. You get the Wizards. They're 2-6 against the spread as a home dog, allowing 129 points per game in that spot. The Wizards have also allowed 140 points 5 times this season. And now you get one of the best offensive groups that we've seen in recent history. I think the Pacers can score as many points as they want. We also got to remember that the Pacers are coming off a loss. Pacers 7-2 against the spread, 9-0 to the over when they're coming off a loss. As far as like first quarter, first half numbers, the first half number is 14.5. I'm sorry. The first half number is for the team total for Indiana is 66.5. The Wizards are allowing 32 first quarter points and 34 second quarter points as home dogs this season. I think the Pacers should have 70 points in this spot at halftime. When these two teams played earlier this season, I want to say they had something like 68, 69. We see the New Orleans Pelicans, who don't have as great of an offense and with missing Zion, come in there and score 70 points in the first half. I think Indiana, if I had a top play in this game, it'd be Indiana first half team total. Full game should get there as well, but I think I like the first half a little bit more, just in case they decide to let their foot up off the gas, which is something that they typically don't do. But I think I like their offense a little bit more, and I want to fade the Wizards' defense, which is typically what you do in the first half. So Indiana team total first half specifically over 66.5. I saw that number on DraftKings, didn't quite get there, but that's the way I would play this one. Of course, Benedict Mathurin can get whatever it is that he wants. I was looking into Benedict Mathurin as well. So his points prop 16.5, 18 earlier this season when these two teams played. He also has 2 other games in his 4 career games versus Washington where he scored 18 and 19. Fast-paced game, going to be a lot of up and down. He's the head of that second unit now. And his scoring has increased to 17 points per game in December since he started coming off the bench. So new role, he's actually been cooking in the spot. On the opposite side, if I'm looking at a player prop there, I think you could absolutely go Kyle Kuzma. At least he's looked like he's playing with some pride and at least trying to score the ball. I don't think they really have anybody that can slow him down. But Bilal Coulibaly, he's averaging 9.2 points per game, 5 double-digit games in a row coming into this matchup on Friday. And he's coming off his second highest scoring performance of his young NBA career with 16 points on Wednesday. He shot 4 for 6 from the three-point line in that loss against the Philadelphia 76ers. So those are the 2 player props that I would play, but I didn't get there on this one at all. Did not get there on this one. Let me see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Coop says, with this high of a total, I got to take a stab at Bruce Brown over 12.5 and his 2 threes at plus 280. I could absolutely see that, Coop. He says, I know Bruce isn't looking to score all the time, but the Wizards do a horrible job defending the corner 3, which he hit 6 for 8 from 3 this season versus the Wizards. I could absolutely see that. JS says, I got to take the under with my eyes closed. Yeah, it's going to be a real uncomfortable spot, JS. I would actually argue to not take the under. I would actually argue to take the Wizards team total to go under. Because to me, it feels like, if we just think back to Monday when the Indiana Pacers had to go into Detroit, when they see an opponent that they're supposed to beat, that's when they typically don't play any defense, right? We saw this team in 2 games before. First of all, they did a really good job against the Lakers outside of Anthony Davis. LeBron James didn't even get to his points prop in that game, in the championship game of the in-season tournament. But also, they held the Celtics and they held the Milwaukee Bucks under their team total in the in-season tournament. Soon as the in-season tournament ends, they go to Detroit and they give up like 125, 130 points to Detroit. So I would actually argue it's kind of hard to argue the Wizards team total to go under. I just think the number might be a little too inflated. And without Jordan Poole, I think that they could struggle to score and just focus a little bit more on the defensive end. So those are my thoughts. Shout out, I do. He says, what do you think about Kyle Kuzma points? You think it will be a blowout? Could they get blown out? Yeah, the Pacers offense is really, really good. They did win and cover the spread that first game as well, and that game was at home. But like I said, the Pacers are 7-2 straight up and against the spread after a loss. So some reason they just always come back out with something after they lose. They, don't want to lose too many games in a row. Rob says Embiid first quarter points have been a wagon. Coop says in theory, would the Wizards play better without Poole? They would play better defense, I think, Coop, but honestly, nobody on that team really scares me as a defensive threat. LJ says Wizards 13-0 trend to the over as 9-point dogs in play-in tonight. So he likes that he likes the over here. McConnell assists plus points, Navi. I could get behind that. I think Andrew Nembhard is still out for this game, so I could definitely see that. Jimmy says, I love my Mather and PRAs, Chris. He cashed it basically on everyone except the Bucks. I see a comfortable win for Indy, so don't have a stretch to don't have to stretch the starters too much on the back end. Jimmy, that's actually a good point. I hadn't thought about that. That makes me like Mather even more because he'll be in with that second unit if this game does get out of hand. And if they're winning at halftime and the Wizards are struggling to score for whatever reason, not that the Pacers are playing much defense, but let's just say that they're off, this makes a lot of sense because then you kind of gear up for tomorrow. You got to take that trip to Minnesota. I still think they get smoked tomorrow, but we'll see how that goes. David says he loves CJ McConnell here, blowout proof. What's up, Solo? Every Pacers game on the road has gone over. Absolutely agree there, Smooth. And then Justin says adding Pacers over 66.5 first half team total. Love that look. Never even looked at that when I capped this game. Appreciate it. Yeah, Justin, that's the way I would play it. Actually, probably one of my favorite looks today is the Pacers first half team total over 66.5. Not available in a lot of books, but you can get it on DraftKings where they break these player props down. LJ likes Halliburton over 13.5 assists at plus 100. He says it's the highest. It's the highest for him so far. He still might get it. I think so. Fremont said, "What do you think about the first quarter, first half?" I would only be looking towards the Pacers in the first quarter, first half, especially off a loss to the Bucks. And I always got that theory that if you play tomorrow, you kind of want to smash the opponent tonight early so you can take advantage of the rest, especially having to travel tomorrow. But we'll see how it goes. This is also the Pacers team is pretty young, right? Outside of Miles Turner, Bruce Brown's still pretty young. They don't have a lot of old guys, so maybe they still try to get up for that game tomorrow too. What's up, Glow Boy? David says, I love how much work Chris puts into the Pacers. Naptown loves you too, bro. And hey, I'm just always trying to cash, man. I like to deep dive into these games. What's up, Bob? Appreciate you for being here as well, man. All right, let's keep moving. Let's keep going. Now let's get into the Lakers and the Spurs game. So we saw the other day that and this game does have a lot of injury implications. The whole starting lineup, like somebody mentioned, is now in the injury report. So I won't spend a lot of time here. D'Angelo Russell downgraded to questionable with migraines. And then Cam Reddish also tossed up to play. Taurean Prince was already on the injury report. LeBron James is going to be a game-time decision until he retires. Anthony Davis also with that groin is a toss-up to play. So really difficult to, a game to kind of cap. On the opposite side, the Spurs are, kind of whole and healthy. I got 7.5 on the screen for you guys to see, but this number has come down now. It's down to 6.5. And, granted the injury information, I'm not sure what to do with this game, honestly. Can the Lakers smash them? They absolutely can. But looking at the last 5 game stats, Indiana has actually been, San Antonio has been a top 5 defensive team. I think a lot of that came from that game again. Couldn't score, but they held the Rockets 20 points under their team total as well. So, I'm not sure what to do with these games. Both of these teams are top 5 in pace. I think if if everybody gets ruled in for the Lakers, I would look at the Lakers team total to go over. I think that, just watching this Lakers team, when they have everybody back, especially with Jared Vanderbilt being in there, to me, it's their defense that's leading an easy offense. The Lakers like to turn you over on the offensive end, on the defensive end, and get out and run in transition. So it would also fit the query, these teams that play within 3 days. The first game goes over, the total opens higher. The Lakers were able to score 121 points in the last game without LeBron. So they can kind of name whatever it is that they want. That trend that I'm talking to you guys about is one that we've been cashing so far this season. It is 61% cashing, and I think it's 7-1 to the over this season. So that would be over, but I couldn't get there unless everybody's ruled in for this game. I just think that with Bron back, the Lakers should be able to score as many points as they want. continue to turn the Spurs over, and both teams rank, top 10 in pace. Lakers probably won't be too locked in on the defensive end, and neither one of these teams play tomorrow. So that's the way I chose to look at this game. But with all the injury news, who knows, man? Larry says thoughts on Turner double-double. I would absolutely be looking at Turner double-double. He's definitely going to be able to score the ball. And we also know that the Wizards give up the most, another team that gives up a lot of points in the paint. It gives up a lot of rebounds to opposing centers. So I would be looking there as well, Larry. Coop says the line is I think he means indicative that Vassell can break out of his slump. Over 18.5 is tempting with the volume that he gets. I could see that, but I could also see Coop. I could also see it being, Devin Vassell. Well, you said Devin Vassell. It could also be, I don't know, man. I feel like all of those guys just stand around and shoot threes for the Spurs, right? If they go in, then it looks good and they push the game over. If they don't go in, they just end up getting blown out. But they like to run up and down the floor, push the pace, and shoot a bunch of threes is what I'm seeing. Wembanyama has looked good on national TV, though. I will say that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Who said? Ice Fire says, I missed the Hornets and Pelicans game. Did I miss that game? Let's see. Let me look at my notes. Hornets and Pelicans. I did miss that game. So let's go. Did I? Hold on. No, I got that game. It's actually next. It's next. I didn't miss it. So this line 8.5 now. It actually opened with New Orleans laying 6.5 on the road as road favorites. I told you guys this the other day. So injury report wise, Zion did go through shoot around, which is why this line went up 2 points. Crazy. It went up. Well, it went up 1 point. It was already money coming in on the Pelicans in this spot. So he went through shoot around. He probably gonna return in this spot. I talked about the Pelicans not being super, motivated in these non-conference road games, specifically as a favorite. This is not a spot you typically want to back the Pelicans in. They typically take these games pretty lightly. However, I said this the other day, and I should have just bet it. It was the day I went 0-3. I said the Pelicans now. I gave you guys a quote from Zion and from the head coach that this team wants to be a little more consistent. To me, consistency for the Pelicans looks like them just scoring the ball. I don't know how much defense they're going to want to play in this spot. Charlotte is on the first leg of a back-to-back, but I think I see points in this one. So Mark Williams just got ruled out. PJ Washington just got ruled out. I still be a little hesitant to look towards the Hornets team total to go under, just because now the Pelicans know that. Do they really, you just beat the Wizards by 20, and now you're getting a cupcake in the Charlotte Hornets as well. I low-key wanted Zion to sit out in this game, and I wanted to get on Brandon Ingram. I think Brandon Ingram, him being from North Carolina, I went back and looked at those numbers. He actually plays really, really good against the Charlotte Hornets. So playing in his home state, last time they played, that game was in New Orleans, but he had 30, 11, and 10. And that was the game with CJ in and Zion out. So I think, he could potentially replicate that performance. The game before that, and this was also last year, Jordan Poole available to play. Okay, I see that. I do see Jordan Poole is going to be ruled in. Appreciate you, BizX, always sending me the notifications. I did see that one pop up. So going back to Brandon Ingram, 30, 11, and 10 in his last game. That game was played in New Orleans with CJ and Zion out. The game before that was played in Charlotte 2 meetings ago last season, 28, 9, and 7. 28, 9 rebounds and 7 assists in that game. So for whatever reason, he played really, really well against his team. On the opposite side, Terry Rozier is going to have to continue the ball. He's averaging 30 in his last, I think, 6 games, 10 assists in those games as well. The Pelicans, because I think that they probably won't be locked in defensively in this game, and they do have really good, solid perimeter defenders, they could potentially take this one a little easier. I can't gauge the motivation. I don't like playing games when I can't gauge the motivation of the favorite. So should the Pelicans win this game? They absolutely should. Should they stump them? I think they absolutely can. I just don't know how motivated. The trends say that they don't, though. But after they got embarrassed in the in-season tournament game, they've really been turning up. We see them go and beat Minnesota, and then they smashed Washington, of course. And they don't have a look-ahead spot in this game. They finished off a 3-game road trip with the San Antonio Spurs. I think that game is on Sunday. So I lean Pelicans team total to go over. That would be my favorite look. Charlotte 3-1 to the over when returning home from a home game from a road game. Their opponents are 3-1 to the team total over. with each team going over their team total in this spot outside of the Miami Heat when they were in the struggle spot. The Pelicans are averaging 122 points as a home favorite in non-conference games. But they, like I said, defensively, they're not playing that well. And then player props, I think, looking towards Ingram, he just had a 40-point game. You can see him doing that again. And then Terry Rozier on the opposite side. But not anything that I'm really absolutely loving in this spot. Let me go back to the comment section real quick and we'll keep going. Navi likes Austin Reeves' points. Austin Reeves to the moon if some of those guys actually sit in this one, Navi. He should absolutely get busy here. Zone likes the Pels and the Rockets money line. Avery likes the Pelicans -8.5. He also talks about Brandon Ingram and Zion homecoming. I forgot all about Zion. B.I.'s from Kingston, North Carolina. Zion's from Salisbury, North Carolina. I think they both want to show out in front of their family and friends. I could see that, Avery. Maybe even the first half. I could definitely see that. Avery goes on to say the Hornets don't match up well. The Hornets doesn't match up too well with this Pelicans team. Who's going to guard Bi and Zion? Gordon Hayward, Brandon Miller. Stop it. I agree there. I agree. He said, don't forget about CJ and Big Val. This team is stacked 1 through 15. The Pels bench can go start for the Hornets right now. That's a fact. They really, really can. 14 to 16 points for the Pels. This spread should be high for a reason. I agree. I absolutely agree. I would agree there. I think I agree. David says these jokes write themselves. Zion is from Salisbury State, South Carolina. Oh man, give me Pelicans -20. That's insane. That is insane. Shadow likes Valanciunas points plus rebounds. He said he kills the Hornets every time. And no Mark Williams. I love that look as well. The blowout would scare me just a tad bit. The blowout factor here, but yeah, they give up a lot of points in the paint. A lot of points in the paint. So yeah, I couldn't talk you off that. Navi also likes Valanciunas double-double. Vaughn says 76ers, Pels, and Pacers to win -122 in a 3-leg parlay. Avocat likes Jonas Valanciunas over his 9.5 boards. Oh, he said 11.5 boards. Okay. Scotty likes Ingram 25, 8 and 8. You put those things together. 25. Zion just got rolled in. That spread is going to jump. If you want to take it, probably take it now. If you want to take that team total to go over, like I said, I think they can name whatever their total is. Let me see what that is real quick, because the total's going to move. The team total's going to move. But I think anything under 123 would be a little too low, especially with those 3-point shooters being able to play and them having a full roster. So it looks like that number is 120.5 right now is the best number for the Pelicans, and it's available on Bet365. That would be the way I would play this one. Pelicans team total over. But also, like I said, I think they get there on the spread as well. I think they could absolutely get there on the spread. Let's see. Did the number move? Yeah, they're up to 9.5 now. Let's see if that team total stayed the same. And I'm going to try to do this quick so we can get back to it. Yeah, the Pelicans are 121.5. I think the spread is probably the better play. But they should score. Both of them, honestly, are really good plays, if we're being honest. All right, let's see. So back to the chat. What are you guys seeing? S-Dot says 193 in the chat, 67 likes. Hit the like button, everyone. Takes less than 2 seconds. I appreciate you for shouting that out. Definitely appreciate you for shouting that out. S-Dot, he also liked the Pelicans in the trifecta spot. Zion over 22.5. Also like that a lot as well. And then what else we got? Jonas Valanciunas 17, 19 last two versus Charlotte laddered him up to 13. So Fahrenheit likes him up to 13 rebounds. David says, "Hey Chris, hold up, 195 on YouTube, 63 likes. Come on, y'all, hit the like button." Hey, I appreciate y'all for shouting out the love, man. Daniel says, "Yeah, center's been eating versus Charlotte. I'm definitely taking Valanciunas rebounds as high as it goes." So he's sprinkling the whole ladder. Jay Smith says, "I think Chris should do a Jordan giveaway for Christmas. Rafe that collection in the back." I mean, I could do a Jordan collection. It's not all the Jordans. If you guys pay attention, these are just 1 through as many as I can fit. So I can only fit through, I think it's 9. No, there's some 11s over there, but yeah, I mean, it's no 11s over there. There's one pair of 11s that you guys can't see. But yeah, maybe I can do a Jordan giveaway. I got some more in the closet that wouldn't fit on the bookshelf. Fahrenheit said, let's get this money, Chris. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Robo reminding us that Zion did get rolled in. And Raven says Pelicans -7.5. So that number is moving. If you want to get on, I think you probably can still get on right now. I like the point spread in this one. I think that they get smoked in this spot. And no flex as that. I've always been a real big sneaker guy. Like I'm a sneaker. Well, I wouldn't say I'm a sneakerhead. I used to be a sneakerhead. I don't really buy too many shoes anymore, unless some originals come out. I'm kind of old, man. All right, let's keep going. We got a couple more games to get into. Next game up, we got Magic. We got Celtics. Let's see. Let me get to my notes. I spent some time on this one. So this line actually opened with the Celtics laying 6. Total was at 222.5. You see the total come up. Hold on, real quick. Let's see. Pacers, New Orleans. Yeah, so it's an 8.5 out there on Sports Illustrated. That's juiced to -118. But a lot of books actually locked it up because I ain't got rolled in. All right, going back to this game, Magic and the Celtics. This total opened at 222.5. Celtics were laying 6 on the second leg of a back-to-back as home favorites. Now you see this line come down to 4, and the total is up to 224.5 is the consensus. I think with this game, let me just go through my notes real quick. So Orlando is 5-5 straight up. They're 6-4 against the spread on the road. They travel well to Boston. They're 2-1 straight up, 3-0 against the spread since the start of the 2021 season in Boston. Boston, second leg of a back-to-back, 8-4 at the crib, and it's still one of the only undefeated. I don't know if they're the only undefeated team left, but one of the only undefeated teams left in the NBA. They're 12-0 straight up. So initially, I was thinking, maybe this game goes under. Listening to comments and quotes from Jamal Murray, he comes out and says, I think you continue to preach exactly what travels, which is defense. And this is a quote from Jamal Mosley. He says, that's who we are, and that's what we'll continue to be about. So that makes me think defense. I will say this: if you watch these games between these two teams, they are very, very physical games. The problem is you got all these guys kind of pop up on the injury report, and that's why this line got a little bit shorter. So Al Horford got ruled out. Luke Kornet didn't play last night. He's ruled out, or at least very unlikely to play. Porzingis is listed on the game as doubtful now. And Jaylen Brown, which I kind of had the thought process that Jaylen Brown, I was going to look towards Jaylen Brown unders, even though he typically plays the Magic pretty tough. I was going to look towards his unders. He's a toss up to play. We know he was a game time decision yesterday with that ankle. He ended up playing in that spot. But for the Magic, they'll be pretty much healthy. They still have Wendell Carter Jr., who hasn't played in about a month, probably a little over. And Markelle Fultz actually is listed as a game time decision. He's a toss up to make his potential return, which would give them more depth at the guard position. So I don't know, man. Boston, they've been held under their team total in 4 straight matchups versus Orlando. Like I said, they're very physical. They match up really well with this team. Both teams bottom 11 in pace the last 5 games. To me, I know the total's going up, and we cashed on Boston yesterday to go under. I think this one can stay under, man. I think, if Boston got to kind of recognize that they keep losing to this team. I don't think it's going to be a situation that presents itself where they're like, oh, yeah, like we lost to Orlando. Hold on, we keep losing to Orlando. I think they understand that they keep losing to Orlando now. So we probably see the best defensive effort. I don't like it as much without Porzingis being there. And that kind of talked me off just a tad bit. But I think that we see really strong effort from Boston on the defensive end in this spot. And we know that if you want to beat Orlando, you got to do it from the 3-point line. And that's typically where Boston struggles from shoot. They struggle shooting the 3 against this team. And they got a lot of length. Even with Gogo Batadze out there, they're still playing some pretty good defense. They've held teams under their team total in back-to-back games is the Orlando Magic. So I think if I'm playing this one, I'm looking at Tatum. I think Tatum got to take this matchup serious. I'm probably louder in Tatum points if I'm playing anything in this game. I think, especially with Jaylen Brown not being 100%, I think it's a big, big game from Jason Tatum in this spot. So that would be my favorite player prop if I'm playing anything in this one. Let's see what you guys are on. Let's see. LJ says Pelicans 11-3 ATS first half, last 14 games. Hornets 16-6 ATS first half overall. That first half sounds like a good look, LJ. I'm pretty sure you probably can get a 4.5, maybe a 5 in the first half. I like it. I like it. Justin says that's clutch if you do a Jordan giveaway. Yeah, we might be able to coordinate a Jordan giveaway, man. Y'all might not be able to wear them. I'm 11.5, 12. Most of my J's 11.5, 12. David says Orlando, Boston is my favorite game. I love Franz and Paolo to go over their points. I love Tatum to flirt with a triple-double. Tatum, back-to-back double-doubles against the Charlotte Hornets and against the Cleveland Cavaliers and without, Porzingis being there, who's listed as doubtful, no Al Horford, should be a big, big rebounding game for Jason Tatum. So I could definitely see Jason Tatum double-double hitting again. LJ says Orlando 11-4 against the spread after a win. Okay. Hendry says, do you like the over Detroit Philly game? Not as much with both of them being on the first leg of a back-to-back injury. I can't get a motivation for either team, though, honestly. Like, I think Detroit got to figure out defensively, and they can't figure it out because they don't have a good center. Like, all their big men are hurt outside of Isaiah Stewart, who's more like a 4 in my estimation. So it's like when you can't stop Embiid at all, then that just opens up the opportunity. Embiid can pass, he can score. So I can't really take the under, even though I like Detroit team total to go under. I think they can struggle to score, but I don't know the motivation for Philly in this spot, and that scares me a little bit. Fahrenheit likes Franz Wagner, 6+ rebounds at +116 on FanDuel. He said he cashed 7 of the last 8 and the last 2 versus Boston. So Franz is a good play here. Fahrenheit says. Coop says, who's going to play center for Boston if all those bigs are going to be out? They're going to have to go super small. That's a good point, Coop. See Al Horford, Porzingis, and Luke Cornett. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to do. They're going to have to go super small. And that leads more towards the over because you do lack rim protection if all those guys end up sitting. But another game we got to confirm the injury report for. Livestone says Orlando money line. Convince me. C's been at home last 10 days and have 3 more before Golden State. Feel like a sleepy spot. I don't think they overlook him in this spot. Jaylen Brown also just got ruled in. I don't know if it came out. Yeah, it did just come out. Jaylen Brown got ruled in, so he's going to play tonight. What else? Navi likes Tatum points plus rebounds. Justin says Magic team total over 109 on his card today. Avery says, I feel like they're ducking the Magic. I was going to lock in Celtics -6 this morning, then saw all this big injury news. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know, man. I agree, Avery. They do feel like they're kind of ducking the Magic, which is crazy. But, yeah, they just match up with them. They match up with them well. What else? Yeah, Glowboy says Jaylen Brown got rolled in. All right, let's keep going. Let's go Hawks. Let's go Raptors. Won't be on this game long. Not a game that I like at all. I really just don't like either one of these teams. They both come into this game, came into the last game on 5 or 6 game losing streaks. Can't put my money on Atlanta right now. Feels like I'm catching the fall of the knife. They're 4-8. ATS on the road, 6-7 straight up, 1-9 against the spread. And they're on the first leg of the back-to-back. They play in Cleveland tomorrow. Toronto, they do. I want to say that DeAndre Hunter, who missed the last game, I want to say he was upgraded to. He went through shoot around. He's a toss up to play. They need him in. Actually, never mind. He just got ruled out. So without DeAndre Hunter, I think this is another game that goes over. I know it's the first leg of a back-to-back. Maybe you don't take the full over. Maybe just take the Raptors team total to go over. Or you could potentially look at the Hawks team total to go under. The Raptors are a little bit better defensively than they showed in the last game, at least in my opinion. They shot the ball they shot the best field goal percentage that they had all season from 3 and from the field in that last game. And that game still went. It did end up going over. I just think that they could potentially regress to the mean. But then again, who's to say they can't do it again? I mean, you're getting one of the worst defenses in the league, one of the teams that played the fastest pace. So I'm not 100% sure what to do with this game. No DeAndre Hunter means that they have even less defense. AJ Griffin is also ruled out in this one. Toronto also doesn't play until Monday, and it's not a look ahead spot because they get the Hornets. So I'm not sure what to do with this game, man. Last 5. Let's see. I got first half over in my notes. I got both teams bottom 3 in defensive rating the last 5 in the first half. Both teams top 10 in offensive rating the last 5 games first half. and Atlanta 8th in pace last 5 games, and they typically dictate the pace of those games, which is why we see these high totals. I think this will be the second highest total in Raptors history. They don't typically have totals with 241, even when they play against the Hawks. The Hawks defense just been so bad that they done pushed the Raptors to the highest total that they done had in a long time. So I also think, I don't think he got that last game, but looking at Schroeder assists, I know Trae Young had 20 and 10 at halftime in that last game. He absolutely cooks this team. But I think looking at Schroeder, assisting this spot, just because Atlanta is so bad defensively, he could potentially get a double-double. So couldn't talk anybody off there. Justin says he has Hawks team total over on his card. Let's see. We got Porzingis, who remains questionable tonight. This came out. That doesn't help us any. No DeAndre Hunter. Yeah. Do you cover Champions League? I do not. I do not cover Champions League. Daniel says can only look over. Yep, just got ruled out. Do we go to Capella rebounds again? He got us on the hook last time. Yeah, I think so. I think you could absolutely look at Capella rebounds. I think you could also look at his double-double. The double-double might be better. Shout out to Dream. Dream talked about the double-double when I talked about the rebounds. He went into the fourth quarter with 10 rebounds and just hookers never could get to one. But if you watch the game, which I watched a lot of that fourth quarter, he couldn't get a rebound because Toronto never missed a shot. Every single shot that Toronto shot just went through the net. So that scares me with wanting to take Capella rebounds. Maybe look towards his double-double. I'm not on Capella in this game, but I can definitely see him getting a double-double in this spot. Keith says, just tuning in. What's good, Chris? Denny Avdia, he likes him over 10.5 rebounds plus assists. Says he finished with 12 rebounds and assists in 21 minutes versus the Pacers in the opener. I could see that, Keith. I could definitely see that. Could definitely see that a lot. Raptors fan says, I like Clint Capella rebounds and his double-double this game, Chris. Yeah, I mean, it should get there. It's the same exact matchup. They still got Jakob Poeltl out there, and the Raptors give it up. They definitely give it up. So couldn't talk you off of going back to Siakam. I'm going back to Clint Capella in this spot tonight. His minutes also were there as well. Great question here, Shadow. I'm not sure. I know that it was Siakam last night. He says, who do we choose from Toronto? Pascal, Scotty, or Schroeder? I think potentially Scotty rebounds, which is what cashed last game. Siakam points because he might have just been getting hot. He gets the same defense. They still don't have anybody to guard him. And we look at Schroeder assists. Maybe you even do a small parlay with all three of those together. I could not talk you off. David says, this is the Scotty Barnes show. I'm seriously considering the Tatum Scotty B Lotto, both for a triple-double. Man. Okay. That's spicy, David. Brandon says running the back with Vassell over 16.5 points. He ended with 13 last game. Jordan Poole did get rolled in fairly. Trae over 10 assists. Dennis says he likes that. And Estat letting us know that Porzingis remains doubtful. Aiden, no, I did not. I have not posted any plays at all, Aiden. I haven't placed a bet today. I have not placed one single bet today. Just kind of wanted to see what happened with the injury report. I know I was giving out bets earlier, like at the beginning of the season. Now with the injury report, I mean, literally, like Jordan, like when things like D'Angelo Russell pop up with a migraine, that don't make me feel good about playing bets in the middle of the day. So I've been kind of waiting and giving out bets, as we get closer to game time when we know for sure, who's going to be in for certain. So I haven't placed any bets yet today, but I'll probably have one or two. I just don't like the card that much. I talked about that earlier. All right, let's keep going. Next game up. I kind of feel good about this game, but I haven't gotten there yet. So we got Rockets. They will be in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies tonight. They opened as 4-point favorites. Their line has now come down to, is it still 3.5? Yeah, it's still 3.5. It's back up to 4 at some spots as well. Just take a look real quick. Make sure that we didn't get anything on Desmond Bane because that is a big piece in this one. He's still listed in a game time decision, toss up the play. He did finish. He did miss that game the other day with an illness. That was the first game that Desmond Bane played. If you follow the beat writers, they always talk about Desmond Bane not really liking to miss games. He likes to play through injury, but I guess whatever he was dealing with was pretty bad. And now we still don't know if he's going to play in this one. The line tells me that he probably not going to play in this spot. And the reason why I say that is because this line is going back up to 4 now. if you know anything about Houston, they have really, really struggled on the road. They're 1-8 straight up on the road, but they are 5-4 against the numbers. So they have been covering some spreads. We took them against the Lakers. They were catching points in that spot, though. And this is the first game of the season, similarly to Utah last night, where to Portland last night, where they were laying points for the first time. This is the first time that the Rockets are actually laying points on the road. So typically, spots you don't necessarily want to take. Memphis, you can't really take them at home, though. 1-10 at home, 3-8 against the spread. Houston 0-3 straight up and against the spread last three. I'm sorry, Memphis is 0-3 straight up and against the spread in their last 3 games. They're still injury riddled. They're really close to getting Ja Morant back. He got a couple more games he gotta play through. Head to head, Memphis has dominated the season series so far. They're 2-0 straight up and against the spread, winning both of the games by double digits. The last 5 games, just looking at some numbers, Memphis is the 3rd worst rebounding team. The middle of the pack defensively. You look at Houston, they're the best 3-point defense, and they're allowing the league low 100 points per game. So looking ahead, Houston has this is one thing I looked at as well. Houston has some really difficult games coming up. They actually got a non-conference road trip coming up where they're going to play against the Milwaukee Bucks on Sunday, and then they'll get the Cleveland Cavaliers on Monday. So a nice little, a really difficult back-to-back situation coming up for them. I think that's when you probably want to fade them. I think that they could probably get the job done in this spot. You really just got to slow down Jared Jackson Jr. And Desmond Bane if he does come back. Because Jared Jackson Jr. can't go out there and give you 40 like he did in the last game. Like somebody got to step up to that challenge, whether it's Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason. Somebody got to do a better job on Jared Jackson Jr. He was the reason why in that third quarter, why we failed on the team total to go under. Because he had like a 14-point third quarter, and they scored. I want to say they scored like 34 points in that third quarter. With this roster, no way they should be doing that. And nobody on this team can really score the ball outside of Jared Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane. Like they got Santi Aldama, they got I think Noel 10-day contract just expired. So I like Houston in this spot, man. It gives me a little hesitation, but I think against the spread, you probably want to wait, figure out what happened with Bane. If Bane gets ruled in, I think I like it a little bit more because it gives them more to play for. But this is, like I said, the first time they've been road favorites. I think the pivot, maybe this is the better one. You guys let me know what you think. Houston team total over. That way you stay away from the spread. The number is 107.5 the last time I checked, minus 112 on FanDuel. Houston is averaging 109 points on the road. You look at Memphis defense, I think it's a tad bit overrated. Like they continue to be in the small points range, but they're in their, like they're limited teams, but they're actually allowing 113 points overall as a home dog this season. So, you're getting 5 points of value there. 9 of the 11 opponents that the Houston Rockets, that the Memphis Grizzlies have faced at home have scored 108 points or more. So 9 out of 11. That's a pretty high, hit rate there. So Houston team total over 107.5. I think they could get to that number, especially if Desmond Bane is ruled in, because then they'll have to score, just a few more points. So I think that would be the pivot to kind of stay off the point spread. I do think that Houston can score 108 points in this spot. So that would be my top look in this game. Of course, it's the Dylan Brooks revenge game. It's his first game playing in Memphis, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be booing him. Might be a little bit extra motivation for him in this spot. Going backwards a little bit, Brandon Brown says, and I'm going to the comments now. Brandon Brown says, Ingram points over. Also, Trey Murray over his threes. When they go small, they put Murray at the 5, so it's more opportunities to space the floor. That's why he hit those 6 threes last game. When I was watching some post-game interview and they said, coach came out and said, when he sees the first one goes in, he got range, he got unlimited range for days. So, and he's a pretty confident shooter. So I could not talk you off of that look, Brandon. Best of luck tonight. Raven says wrapped on the -3. He likes that. Tyler says, has Chris done what he's betting banner? No, I have not done the what I'm betting banner. I understand what you're trying to say. You missed a couple words, Tyler, but I got you. Haven't bet anything, if I'm being honest. David says Ingram, Tatum, Barnes, all to get a triple double. $1 wins you 21,000. God bless. Tatum, Ingram, and Scotty Barnes, triple double, all to get 1,000. I think, man, for him to get a triple double with Zion in, I think it's going to be difficult, David. But Best of luck, man. I hope you cash it. Dollar to 21K. I couldn't talk you off. LJ says, we're back on the money train, Chris. Memphis, Houston, under 105 in the first half. Both teams ranking bottom 5 in first half scoring. I know you cashed this one the other day, LJ. Best of luck to you tonight, my brother. I appreciate you for sharing the look. And then Nabi says, remember, every game is a revenge game for Brooks. That is a fact. I talked about that the other day. Every game is a revenge game for Brooks. He don't like nobody. And then last game we got on the board, man. Let's get into this last one. I'll tell you guys my thoughts. So we got Knicks. They will be in Phoenix tonight. This line had actually opened at 5.5. You see it come down to 5. Then it comes down to 4.5. And I thought it was interesting because it comes down to 4.5 and Grayson Allen actually got ruled in. So I was like, hold on, am I missing something? I don't think that I am. For New York, they'll have, we got to remember for New York, they have a new interesting rotation with Dante DiVincenzo has been starting at the shooting guard position. Of course, Jericho Sims is starting at center now without Mitchell Robinson being there. For Phoenix, this will be the second game that they actually have Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant in. Listening to the post-game interview after they lost the other day against the Brooklyn Nets on the second leg of that back-to-back after beating Golden State, Kevin Durant came out and said, I'm not sure how long it's going to take. It could take a couple days. It could take a couple weeks, but we will gel eventually. We're going to come in. We're going to work hard. And so that, I was hoping that they come out with a little bit more confidence. But to me, it kind of feels like, Phoenix has not been the greatest at home. They haven't been the greatest recently either. They keep like winning one, losing one. Devin Booker says, he's not going to act like the sky's falling when they lose a couple games. The Knicks on the opposite side, they've actually been losing as well. And that's what I need to mention. Eric Gordon is still listed as questionable in this game, and Josh Okogie is also listed as out. So for the Knicks, this team has been absolute trash recently. It's crazy to think that you could associate the Knicks with trash because they've typically been a really good defensive team, but that's where they struggled at the most. This is the second game for them of a 5-game road trip. They got one more game on the West Coast. Then they go back home, I think, and play against maybe Brooklyn. I can't remember who that team was, but this is the first leg of a back-to-back. They play in LA against the Clippers tomorrow, and then they got the Lakers. Then they go back home on the East Coast before going back home, and I think they got to stop in Brooklyn. I think Knicks haven't been good, man. 6-7 on the road, 6-1 against the spread on the road. They're just 3-7 in their last 10 games. In Phoenix, 4th straight home game, typically a spot you want to buy in on the team. Coming off that loss to Brooklyn, they don't play again until Sunday when they host Washington, so it's another home game. No travel coming up. They're just 5-7 straight up, and against the spread at home. Last 5 games, they're allowing 112 points. So head-to-head, the Suns are 9-1 straight up in the last 10 meetings versus the Knicks, and they're really good against the spread as well. We know Devin Booker hit the game winner in the Garden just a few weeks ago, and that game was without Kevin Durant. I think, to me, this feels like a Sun spot, man. It definitely feels like a Sun spot. I think the pivot to, playing the spread, because I do feel like these spreads are kind of tight today. We'll be looking at the Suns team total to go over. The number is 118.5. Second game with all their big three back. I like it for that reason. Also like that they're coming off a loss, so you're probably going to be a little more motivated in this spot. Knicks, second worst defensive rating over the last 5 games. Last 5 games, they're allowing the third most threes to be made against them, and they're bottom 8 in opponent 3-point percentage. They're giving up 126 points per game. We just saw the Jazz that they played against absolutely kill them. The Toronto Raptors, who can struggle to score, absolutely kill them. It goes all the way back to when they lost that in-season tournament game against the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, they really just haven't been a shell of themselves. And I think a lot of that is due to Mitchell Robinson not being there. The problem with that is that Phoenix has been playing at such a slow pace. I think they could potentially start to run just a little bit faster, especially having Grayson Allen in. He's a knockdown shooter. Josh Okogie being out, that's less defense on the floor. So I think I would look more towards Suns team total to go over. To me, it feels like a spot they could also score 125 points in this game. So I like the Suns team total to go over. But like I said, haven't gotten there yet. That one just sitting in the best slip as well. What are you guys thinking in the chat? Let's go back to the chat and then we'll get up out of here. It is 6:00 already. Golly. Daniel says, have no numbers to support it, but maybe Brooks stocks over. He'll probably be aggressive on the defense, on the defensive in, I think is what he means. Markel Fultz just got ruled out. Lou Cornett said he'll miss around a week. Porzingis remains doubtful. Okay. All right, cool. On the defense, since he's not a scorer, yeah, I could see that, Daniel. I could see Brooks playing with a little more effort on the defensive end. And, they could turn the ball over. Those guys out there from Memphis can really turn the ball over. Opposite side. Fremont's like Grizzlies in the trifecta spot. I can't get there with the Grizzlies today. I just think that defense wins out. And to me, Houston is the much better defense. Like I said, they only allowed 100 points per game over their last, 5 or so games. We also got to remember, Houston, they went on the road and beat Denver as a 10-point dog. So you're telling me if they can win, in my estimation, if they can win their game, they definitely can beat this Grizzlies team. So we're on opposite sides here, Fremont. If I'm playing this game, I'm laying the points here. And the Grizzlies have been, Houston has been a really good first quarter, first half team as well. I know they're on the road, but I think that they can get it done. Dr. Shelley says Phoenix has to get it going. I think it starts tonight with their big three and no game tomorrow. I think the head coach lost the locker room after his comments post in-season tournament loss. I think Dr. Shelley, he probably talking about, for the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau lost the locker room, but he likes Phoenix. Dr. Shelley likes Phoenix tonight. I could see it. I could definitely see that. Raven Ron says over 232.5. I'm thinking I would play this one to go over. I think the Knicks can contribute. The problem with the Knicks is that sometimes they can get a little too live and die by the three, a little too much for me. And when I was looking at the numbers, Phoenix is actually defending the three-point line really, really well. They're top 5 defending the three on 3-point opponent percentage and 3-point makes in their last 5 games. They've really done a really good job. And the Knicks can really struggle to score the ball. Like they can really struggle to hit the three. They actually struggle. I think they shot 9 for 39 on the 3-point shots in their last game. And that was against the Utah Jazz, who don't even play good defense. Utah typically just outscore you. But I know Jalen Brunson was 0 for 6 from the 3-point line. I know R.J. Barrett, just off the top of my head, I know R.J. Barrett had like 3 points or something like that. He shot really, really bad, like 3 for 17. Don't quote me on it, but I know it's really, really bad from 3. And like I said, him and Jalen Brunson, I can't get there with the Knicks right now, man. Chase has really liked the total to go over on the Knicks and the Suns. Yeah, I can see it getting over. Fahrenheit likes Nurkic 10+ rebounds. Cash last 2 games versus the Knicks, 22 and 13 rebounds in his last 2 meetings, in his last 2 games. I could definitely see that Fahrenheit. I know he went off against Brooklyn, and I think that 13 rebound game came against the Golden State Warriors, so I can see that as well. Navi likes Booker 10 assists. I could absolutely see that happening tonight, especially if we get this game with pace. Young DJ says what I said. Brunson been shooting terribly. He has. Coop likes Dylan Brooks rebounds and assists over 12.5. Coop also says Booker versus Brunson. Those 2 guys don't like each other. Booker double for J.S. Brown, and Ice Fire also like Nurkic rebounds. Navi says I think Brunson plays better tonight, and Go DJ says Houston has beat Denver 3 of the last 4, but those weren't necessarily with a full roster. They beat Denver the other day in Denver when Denver had a full roster laying 9.5 points. That was a little bit different, man. Uncut says Rockets are 0-5 in their last 5 at Memphis. I think you got to look at this spot though, Uncut. You look at those teams. Look at those 5 Memphis teams versus this Memphis team. I want you to do this, Uncut. Go to NBA.com. Go to stats. Click on teams. I want you to click on teams. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it for you real quick. I want you to click on teams. I'm gonna show you something real quick. This is what I looked at earlier, and I didn't even talk about this. But I just want to show you this. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this. I'll zoom in a second. So I'm going to players. I'm going to traditional. I'm going to advanced filters. I'm going to, and all this could be for no reason, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to Memphis. I'm going last 5 games. And I'm going to look at Memphis stats for the last 5 games specifically. They're individual player stats. And I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see this a little bit better. So these are the stats for the Memphis Grizzlies last 5 games. Jared Jackson Jr. is averaging 33.4 points. Desmond Bane is averaging 30. You got Derrick Rose with 9, shooting 37% from the field. David Roddy with 8.4, shooting 36% from the field. Vince Williams Jr., you guys probably don't even know him. Only reason I know him because you go to church from South Carolina, which is where a lot of my family's from. His people go to church with my people. So I know who he is, but he's averaging 7.8 points. Santi Aldama, supposed to be one of the leading scorers, 7.2 points. Jalen Noel, I'm not sure he's on the team anymore. Like I said, his 10-day contract ended, 5.6 points. John Conchor, 4.8 points. Man, I can keep going, but there's no need. There's no need. Even Zaire Williams averaging 3.2 points. They just can't. They don't have scoring. Bismack Biyombo playing 20 minutes, giving you 2.2. No way I can put my money on this team, bro. There's no way I can put my money on this team. But best of luck if you do. Don't let me talk you off. I look at stuff like that and I said, nah, can't do it. Shadow says Book or KD points. I would go Book assist, KD points. Book is going to run the point guard tonight. He could absolutely feast against this defense. Uncut says you don't think it's suspect that the spreads are less than what they were when the teams just played. All the favorites covered the first time, and the numbers is lower what it was pregame. They all covered by large margins at the spread open up less. What is less than what the pregame number was than what they won by? I understand what you're saying, Uncut. So I know you know this because you're a smart guy, but you got to remember this. The spread is going to be smaller when you go from home to road, right? Home court is typically 3 points for people who don't know. So you typically see a line move 3 points, and that's pretty close to what that line was. Also, Desmond Bane was ruled out of that game, so that's automatically going to make the spread shorter. So I think that's where we got a little disagreement at. Let's see. I'm with you, Navi says, but not betting on the Knicks this season, bro. Knicks gonna have to show me. They're gonna have to show me. I'm not betting against them because I know what they're capable of, but I can't put my hard-earned money on a Friday. I'm not letting the Knicks mess my Friday up. Dr. Shelley says, I like that Phoenix team total to go over. I think you can even same game parlay the team total with Phoenix money line and sprinkle a little bit on that as well. I could see that, Dr. Shelley. Could absolutely see that. What do you think of D Rose stat line? I think D Rose needs a smaller role. That's what I think. When Ja Morant comes back in a couple games, Derrick Rose will go back to doing what he's supposed to do. Right now, it's really hard for me to bet on injury-riddled teams, man. Like it's really difficult. I can't bet on the Memphis Grizzlies right now. But don't let me talk you off. You like it, you take it. Alvin says, I think the Rockets line is a little short, to be honest. I agree. I know that they're not good on the road, but very impressive win in Denver the other day on the road. As long as they come in motivated, I don't see a reason why they don't win this game. Any info on 3-pointers? I'm not sure what you're asking here, Aaron. Like who's going to hit? Oh, I have no idea who's going to hit 3-pointers. Fred VanVleet shoots a lot of them. Jalen Green shoots a lot of them. But it could be a Jabari Smith Jr. night. I have no idea who's going to hit the threes in that game. So Nurkic 4 assists, bro. Absolutely, I think Nurkic could get to 4 assists. It really just depends, though, Navi. I'm not rushing to bet player props in that game just because I want to see the role of everybody. I think you probably want to wait, see the role, see how all of them play together, right? Like let them develop the chemistry before unless you got a really sharp look on it, let them develop the chemistry and see what's going to come. I think Devin Booker assist is going to come because I think him scoring 34 points in the last game is a little bit more than what he wants to score. I don't think Devin Booker wants to score 34 points a game. So you need a little bit more from Bradley Beal. You get Grayson Allen back, another knockdown 3-point shooter. And I think some of those role players can play a little bit better than they played in the last game. Guys like what's my man name with the hair? Can't think of his name. But some of those bench guys play a little bit better. What up, Fred? He says, Chris, what's good? Need a power play. I like Houston -3. I do too, Fred. This is what I would tell you. I would wait because if Desmond Bane gets ruled in, you get a better number. This line might come down to Houston -2.5, -2. And then you hop on Houston. I think Houston's the better team as currently constructed. We've been fading, this Grizzlies team at home where they're 1-10, and I think you could continue to do so tonight. You think the Celtics, Pacers, Sixers cover? I'm not high on the Celtics today. I need to see what the complete injury report looks like. Who's going to be in? We still got a couple guys listed as doubtful in that game. I need to see if they get ruled out. Pacers can definitely cover, but they don't play enough defense for me to lay my money on them. Sixers can definitely cover. Sixers could win by 20. Sixers in the first half, I think, is another good look. Fading Detroit, however you possibly can, has always been pretty good. And then last comment, Dr. Shelley says, Rockets and Nets have made me some good coin on the spread. It's hard to fade them on any game, to be honest. And I would agree with that as well. All right, cool. So let's go through. David says, don't be annoying, y'all. Over 200 in here and 99 likes. Laugh out loud. Yeah, hit the like button for me if you can, man, especially if the show brought, any kind of value to you guys. So what I played segment, like I said, I haven't played anything, man. I'm just kind of waiting. Like I'm waiting it out. We still got a lot of injury news in the Laker game that we know nothing about. We still got injury news in the Celtics game. We still got injury news in all of the games that I, necessarily want to make a play on. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. We didn't get news that Porzingis is ruled out, right? He's just unlikely to play. Again, I did this yesterday, and I think if you play some of these, then you probably made some money. Top looks I'll give you guys for every spot that's on the board. I'll probably skip the games that I don't have the injury information for. So if I'm looking at that Pacers game versus the Washington Wizards, Pacers first half team total over 66.5. Just in case the game slows down, it might not slow down, but they are the first leg of a back-to-back. So I think they can get whatever it is that they want in the first half. Over 66.5 available on DraftKings earlier. It was -105. Not sure what it is now, so you're not laying a lot of juice. Pacers first half, probably first quarter team total over as well, is the way I would look in that spot. If I'm looking at the Lakers and the Spurs game, I need everybody in, but I'm taking the Lakers team total to go over. Like I said, I think that defense turns into offense. That's the way I would play that one. Jason Tatum points, I think, with Jaylen Brown dealing with that ankle injury. I know he's ruled in. Boston loses of 3 straight to Orlando dating back to last season. I think Tatum takes this one serious. I like Tatum points, probably in the latter spot because they are off tomorrow. And then Tatum also has 26 or more in 3 of the last 4 head-to-head meetings as well. So I'll be looking at Tatum points. Short list, Atlanta, Toronto, first half over. I just think that, both teams come out smoking. Atlanta also on the second leg of a back-to-back, so a first leg of a back-to-back. So they could potentially slow down. The pace could slow down. And that's what happened in the last game, even though they still couldn't get a stop. And without DeAndre Hunter in there, the defense is not going to magically get any better overnight. Still got Trae Young out there. You don't have, DeAndre Hunter. So I think Toronto and Atlanta first half over. If I'm playing the Philly game in Detroit, I honestly think the sneaky look is Detroit team total to go under 109.5. I think that, Philly could, not that, they might just be missing shots. And if they're missing shots, they're going to score fewer points than they're projected to with that high team total, which will also, slow Detroit down. We got to remember, Philly's also one of the better defensive teams in the league as well. So I think Detroit team total under 109.5 is a good look. And those are the ways I would kind of look at this one. Those are my top looks on the slate for tonight. Like I said, I didn't place a bet. I'll wait till the injury report clears all the way up, and then I'll probably put a few bets in. Anybody got any thoughts on Twitter? If so, send me a request. I'll get a couple people up, and then we will get ready to get up out of here. Dennis says, got you, bro. Y'all hit the like button for Chris. Appreciate you, Dennis. Yeah, appreciate you guys for sure. If y'all got questions, drop them in the chat real quick before I get out of here. And then I don't have any requests on Twitter. Yeah, that's it. Where do you post your bets, my dude? So my bets are all posted on YouTube. They're all posted in my YouTube membership group. So I have a YouTube membership group where I do post all my official picks. They're tracked. And we're up 24 and a half units, I want to say, on the season. I post all my plays there. My membership is $5.99 a month, $5.99 a month, get you access to all my plays when I make them. But my members probably looking for plays. But they also know, all my members know I don't force anything. I don't really like the card a lot today. It's a lot of lot of games, but not a lot that I absolutely love. If I had a top play today, it will be Indiana first half team total over 66.5. I think that the Wizards just get smoked in this one. Also, Pelicans team total over. I think they score as many points as they want to. Not on the front leg of a back-to-back, not on the second leg of a back-to-back. And I just don't believe in Charlotte's defense. I know Charlotte plays, really, really slow and pace, but I think both of those would be my top two looks. My top two looks, I think Indiana scored 70 points in the first half, and I think the Pelicans can score 130 if they want to in this spot against a very, very bad defensive team in Charlotte. So those will be my top two looks. Real quick, I'll get Line Slayer up, and after Line Slayer gets off of here, we'll close this thing down, man. I hope you guys cash tonight. Definitely appreciate everybody for stopping through. Line Slayer, if you can hear me, bro, the floor is yours. What's going on, my guy? How you doing?
I figured you, but I'll just go ahead and I didn't really talk about the total for the Pacers and the Wizards. When have you ever seen a 261?
Never. This the highest total in NBA history, Line Slayer. I probably should have said that. Yeah, it's the highest total ever. I'm scared to play the under. Just because the first time these two teams played, they went over this number. But the thing that gives me a little hesitation is just that I don't know if the Wizards gonna be able to keep up, man. Like I know that the Pacers are a really good defense, and it's really hard to like break this down and get it like in the words. But I think that with the total so high, so let's do this real quick. So let me find out what the team total is for the Pacers. For the Wizards specifically. So the Wizards team total today is Washington team total is 123.5, right? So now let's just cap it real quick. So Washington at the crib specifically this year, I want to look and see how many times they've scored 123 points. You see a 125.5 for the Wizards? So I see 123.5 is the lowest number. I see it all the way up to 126.5. That's a lot of points for the Wizards to score. I don't know if the Wizards can get to that many points. That's what gives me the hesitation. And I know that the Pacers defense is not great, but let me see. Let's see. So 16. The Wizards have scored 126 points in 2 games out of their 9 games at home. So they're giving up 128, and the total, and they're averaging 115. That's the reason that gives me hesitation. So even though they're 6-3 to the over, I think the Pacers can come in here and name whatever it is that they want to score because their defense is so bad. I just don't know if they'll need to score that many because I don't know if I don't know if they got enough offensively. Like I just really struggle with seeing them score that many points. They scored 122 against the Pelicans. They scored 126 against the 76ers. They scored 108 against the Hawks. The Hawks are a really bad defensive team. That's the part that scares me. And all these games were played in DC. So I don't know. I think if I'm betting the game last year, I'm just taking probably the Pacers against the spread. I think that they can, score enough points to be able to run this Wizards team off the gym and outscore them by, 12, 13 points. I know 9 is a big number. I'm not laying it because Pacers defense is not good enough for me to do so. But I think, like I said, I'm playing that first half team total over line player is the way I would play it. Looking at the Pacers, looking at looking at the Wizards at home, they're giving up 31 in the first quarter, 35 in the second quarter. So that's 36 points in the first. That's 65 points, almost 66 points in the first half. And now I get the Pacers coming in. I think that's the spot I like the most is them to give it up in the first half. I just watched them give up about 70 points in the first half of the day against to the New Orleans Pelicans, who don't have as good of an offense as this Pacers team. So those are my thoughts. I think that's the way I would play it. I would look at specifically in the first half, especially with, like I said, the Pacers having a game tomorrow in Minnesota. Might want to take that game serious tomorrow. I know if we go back to FIBA basketball, Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Halliburton have a really close relationship. He talked about it on Podcast Pete. And I think, he probably want to say something for that game tomorrow versus Anthony. So, yeah, I think I like the first half a little bit more, honestly. I also think this is the last thing I'll say, and I know I'm being long-winded, but this is the game where you look at the numbers. This is what I've been doing recently. You look at the numbers, You look at the full game total, you see 260.5. You look at the first half, should be about half of that, about 130, 128, something like that. Or probably a little bit more, 132, something like that. And you screenshot those things. You look at the first quarter, you do the same thing. If something goes under, then you take the over, right? If it's going too high, at halftime they crush the first half over. Maybe you look towards the under with the Pelicans. I mean, with the Pacers having the second leg of a back-to-back, thinking that these teams will slow down just a tad bit. So those are my thoughts on on that total. I couldn't get there either way, OJ. The book set this one at a place where I said, "Whoa, that's a little too much for me," because everything literally has to go right. You can't have a 25-point quarter if you're the Washington Wizards. This total goes under if it's a 25-point quarter anywhere. COK says you leaning Pelican team total over the spread. I think I would probably split it. I think I would go Pelicans team total over, and I go spread half on each. Half a unit on each is what I would do if I was playing that game. Ground for Greatest says, you think Go Batadze gets 7 or 8 points, 7 rebounds and 8 points? I think he got a better chance of probably getting. You know what? Honestly, I'm not going to steer you in one direction or another. I would need to look a little bit more into that. I don't like to give you guys insight if I haven't really capped it, so won't say anything on that. Bruce Brown 2 steals, plus 100. Couldn't talk you off, Barnes. And Dr. Shirley says there's no way I can trust the Wizards to score over 120 points. And those are my thoughts as well. I don't care who they're playing either. Yeah, I can't trust the Wizards to score that many points. Their offense is not built like that in my estimation. I know they're playing both of these teams are top 5 in pace, but I couldn't get there with the Wizards to have to score that many points. Might just be the play. Wizards team total under. Like I said, I do think that the Pacers can score. So those are my thoughts, man. Tomorrow, we got games for tomorrow. I'm pretty sure we do. I'll probably end up doing a show at some point in time. That's why I always tell you to turn your notification bell on YouTube and Twitter, so you know when I go live with a Twitter space or a show. Best of luck to everybody tonight, man. If I do make any official plays, they will be posted in my membership group as always. As we get more injury information, I probably will end up having something, but right now I just don't have anything. Like I said, if I had a top look, it would be that Pacers team total first half to go over. And the Pelicans, I would go half unit on the spread. I would go half unit on the team total. I think that they can get whatever it is that they want, man. Appreciate you for tapping in as always, too, my brother Nabi. Best of luck, man, everybody, on your action today. And I'll catch you guys most likely tomorrow. I'll probably do a show tomorrow. Hit the like button for me on your way out. Appreciate you guys.